Hey there, Adrienne Leese here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for April 22nd through 25th, 2022. Wow, well, we are just feeling so much with 4 planets in Pisces now. Venus and Mars moved over into Pisces, and Neptune and Jupiter. And so a huge bloom of deep suppressed emotions now that Mars is in Pisces, stirring up the waters. These waters, these deep griefs, emotions, energies of the past that we haven't been able to let go of, have to do with our relationship to the mother. Now that Black Moon Lilith has moved over into the sign of Cancer, and very powerful, Black Moon Lilith sits there at 0 degrees Cancer in sextile to the sun, having just moved over to Taurus. So this is a very powerful transit. And with the sun now in Taurus, Uranus and Taurus, North Node in Taurus, we've got a massive bloom of Taurus and Pisces. Very crucial energies in these times. The sextile between these signs plays out again and again. We just had Venus in Pisces in sextile to Uranus in Taurus, and Mercury joining that sextile. Now, this is really powerful because Venus and Mercury were together and crossed paths in their retrograde earlier in the year. Now they have come into in a conjunction and with Pluto. Now they've come into a sextile 2 signs apart. So this is the next part of the story. And it relates back to that Venus retrograde. We're still in these energies. We're still trying to figure out what in the heck we want. Because Venus is our desires, our wants, what makes us feel good. And very powerful as the ruler of Taurus in that sextile relationship. So today's the last day we're going to be feeling that energy, and actually through tomorrow. And so with Uranus and Mercury together there, it was like this joining of the higher mind, the higher consciousness, the higher self, and the everyday mind, our everyday perspective. In sextile to Venus and Pisces, what do we want? And that has to do with a spiritual connection. So again, we're having this energy come up where everywhere where our life doesn't fit the truth of who we really are. And this is getting challenged again and again. We are reworking ourselves. So basically, who you were at the end of last year when that Venus retrograde energy started and who you are now may be very different. What you wanted then and where you resonated vibrationally. So we're in a complete rearranging process with all of this Pisces energy, because Pisces is a mutable sign. So it's bringing up that feeling of not having any direction, not knowing where you're going. We're also just now moving over into the retrograde energy. Mercury will be going into retrograde shadow next week. So we have a week left of all the planets direct. And at the end of the month, Pluto turns retrograde. But Mercury retrograde is the one we feel the most. And so by the time it moves into its retrograde shadow, we're already moving into that energy. So Mercury goes into retrograde shadow on the 26th, 27th of April, and will then move over into Taurus and begin a retrograde on May 10th. Move over into Gemini, begin a retrograde on May 10th, and retrograde back into Taurus. So very powerful, looking at what needs to change in our psyche around this Taurus energy, our wealth, our self-worth, and our embodiment. There's definitely a mysterious energy coming forward with the connection of this Pisces-Taurus energies. Pisces is our spiritual connection, our connection to something greater, bigger. It's also how we've been manipulated and controlled through delusions and lies. And Taurus is about embodiment. Taurus is about what, so you could see Aries as the seed, the spark of life, the sprout, the impulse, the I am. And then Taurus is like everything the plant needs to fill out into form. It's about form. And so we're literally spiritualizing form and changing our relationship completely to form, changing our whole value system. And we know that this has got to happen if humanity is going to move forward in these times. So really powerful energy, because now Venus is coming out of that sextile and Mars is going to be coming into that sextile. And that will begin at the end of the month. So when Mars is in a sextile to Uranus, the sun will be with Uranus. So we had Mercury sextile Uranus Venus sextile Mercury and Uranus, and now it will be Mars sextiling Mercury and the sun. Now the sun in there makes this about our identity, and Mars wants to go. More than anything, Mars wants action. And so Mars will be trying to move these waters and trying to connect with higher self and being like, all right, so your life isn't in alignment with who you are spiritually. What are you going to do about it? What are we doing here? Mars in Pisces is a little frustrated, wants to move forward, and Pisces kind of wants to go in circles, you know. And this is exactly the energy of very interesting and can be frustrating, confusing, but a completely different way to navigate and manifest in this world. A co-creation energy where you really don't get to know the plan, because we're coming into alignment with our highest self. And we understand that our self that's here in the driver's seat doesn't really get the bigger picture, you know, and kind of get out of the way. Get the 2-year-old out of the driver's seat, right? In the back seat. And it's like, but when are we going to get there? You know? And that's definitely the energy of Mars and sextile to the sun and Uranus. It's like the sun and Uranus together and the North Node in Taurus. It's like an activation of this higher self. And around in Taurus, it's always about our values and our self-worth. And so are we worthy? Are you worthy of your higher spiritual truth? And then it's kind of like, yeah, I know supernova souls are just so programmed with low self-worth and horrible feelings about themselves. But isn't it kind of silly to ask that question? It's like, are you worthy? It's yours. And this is this whole energy of these times. And very powerful that we had that Venus in Pisces, Chiron in Aries, and Uranus and Taurus all lining up, speaking to the wounds around our wealth and our values and our self-worth. It's all about claiming back our life force and really living. Are you going to live? Are we going to live the ecstatic existence that life is? Or what are we doing here? You know, so that's what's going on in the psyche of supernova souls right now. And again, it's just this feeling of pressure to make changes in your life, to make your life more appropriate, more supportive to who you really are spiritually. And that has been such a sticky, difficult place. And of course, when nothing works out, it's going to bring up all those feelings of low self-worth and I don't deserve. And these might be deep, deep hidden. And that's the power of this Pisces energy. It's bringing that deep, deep hidden, going too deep into the veils to find what's left over. And Black Moon Lilith moving into Cancer, it's all about whether we can receive and deserve. Supernova souls are really good givers, you know? They're helpers. They want to see change in the world. They want to bring healing. Not so great at receiving, because the receiving what they've gotten from the world is a lot of hatred, jealousy, and attack for the light that they are. So how can you trust, you know? And especially all the duplicity in the world, all the narcissist energies that supernova souls have had to deal with, you know? And there's huge healing of this energy going on. And so use this Pisces energy to your advantage to go into these places. Now they all have to do with that mother wound, the core wound, the illusion of separation. And supernova souls, I mean, I know pretty much across the board, at some point in their life, if not for lifetimes, have had a feeling of like, who dropped me off here? And what in the hell is going on? And victimized by this experience because of the persecution that they've experienced. And we're at a point right now, this astrology, with that first week of May, Sun Uranus conjunction, sextile Mars in Pisces. The answer, because Pisces energy goes to the victimized place. That's just part of it. The murder, sacrifice, all that. And then the question is, instead of how could they, or God or mother. So it's very powerful in this energy of aligning spirit and a life that fits who we are spiritually on earth. Welcome to the garden. That is a big part of the energy of Pisces and Taurus in their interaction. And so it's an opportunity to clear out that deep subconscious, recognize, okay, yeah, so we were victimized, persecuted. It's time to switch that whole energy around. What's going on? Or what did I deserve this? To now I know motivation of this. I am energy style. So that's kind of the first week of May. Very, very in starting this weekend is Venus coming up into conjunction with Neptune and Jupiter. And so Mars will be making those conjunctions as Moon conjunction. So that's when we're going to feel this rebirth energy. Mars, Neptune together is like, we got to get going on this energy. We got to walk the talk and get real with what's happening. So that energy, so now first Venus comes into these conjunctions. And so this is going to be the last part of April. The energy of the last part of April is all about these Venus conjunctions and about our spiritual desires and our spiritual service and expanding our spiritual truth. So very powerful. And at the same time, we've got the Sun in Taurus coming up to Uranus that first week of May. And then when the Sun hits the North Node, that will be very powerful in mid-May as well. Everything's coming together here as we have this Pisces and Taurus activation. And so, but a big shift in the energies when Venus moves over to Aries on May 3rd. And so this next 2 weeks, or a week and a half, is about cleaning up that deep subconscious psychic energy to be able to receive the garden, to live, to breathe, to set our course in a new direction, to vibrate at that frequency of possibility. So really powerful times, and it all has to do, coming back to what we're feeling right now, the Sun in sextile to Black Moon Lilith. And who are you in relationship to your woundedness, your deep core wound of being abandoned here, of disconnection from the mother and the dark mother, the mother energy that's supposed to be caring for you, but is actually manipulating you and feeding on you in a predatory way. And that is exactly the massive cleanse of reptilian energy that's happening on the planet right now. Out of all of us, we're all having these cords that we didn't know were there, ancestral programming and powerful energies of entity attachments that where we've all taken on this reptilian agenda of fighting for what we need and being abandoned, being left alone, coming from that place of lack and scarcity. We can't do it anymore. And that's what this astrology is about. So our spiritual awakening is a revaluation of wealth. And the wealth is in our life force and really living and claiming back these possibilities. So be in the energy of the garden, let the emotions come up, let the clearings happen, let this play in the waters Don't be scared to go to the depths of darkness in order to clear out, clean house, detach, and make room for what's really possible for you. Massive energies of a complete shift and change on the backdrop of our reality. And what does that mean for you in your life? Clarity is coming around this with these Sun, Uranus, and Venus. The real soul rebirth energy is going to be when that Venus moves over into Aries on May 3rd. So use this time wisely to clean house and make room for that energy, that rebirth. If we're making Earth new again and building and reclaiming and manifesting, visioning into being this garden, this new Earth, then that means a new you too. And so let it all fall away and surrender to the energy of your highest self and the divine timeline trying to land into your life, and get that ego out of the way. Let it dissolve into these Pisces energy. And at the same time, we've got all that water, but now we've got earth energy with the sun in Taurus. And the earth energy is bringing grounding and that embodiment. Like, we've been taught spiritual energies throughout, time. It's something, it's like spiritual energy is about a journey. It's about going somewhere else. It's about going beyond the veil. And this time we're in is about bringing it here and manifesting it in form. So we are the garden. And in order to do that, we have to allow ourselves to have a better life. We have to get out of the victim energy and say, oh, no, you don't. No more feeding, even where you thought you cut off the feeders. It's like a deep subconscious energy that is disconnecting. So there's like an entity attachment that's trying to clear right now in humans. That's ancestral programming, DNA programming. And it is the way that those narcissist energies can continue to get in to feed on your energy. And what happens is we become so invested in this as who we are, and it's not who we are at all. It actually doesn't fit our vibration as supernova souls at all. So these things are like showing themselves. You don't get rid of reptilian narcissist energies. They just go away. They always fight back. They're always going to have a backlash, and they're getting exposed right now on every level of our world. So very powerful times to make huge strides in preparing your life and energy for real living. Are you ready? Welcome back to the garden. So thanks so much for being with me, Supernova Souls. Thanks for going through all you've gone through, and let's stick together through these very potent and powerful times. We're heading into eclipse season, so more information about that. Eclipses happen when the nodes of the moon, which is where the orbit of the moon and the sun intercept. And when the sun and the moon are lined up there, that's when we have those eclipses. So it's about aligning up. It's about a new direction. It's about timeline alignment. It's about things being hidden and revealed. And wow, with the South Node in Scorpio, we're sure to get a show over these next months of disclosure, dark truths coming to the surface. But that's not where you're supposed to be, Supernova Soul. You've already made the choice into the light. In fact, it's just who you are. So stop worrying about whether you deserve that beautiful existence, because it's yours for the taking. Are you going to claim it? Stake that claim and come back to the garden. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.